Well, hello and happy new year. Welcome to episode number 557 of the Garden City Community Chat Show. It's Thursday, December 31st, 2021, and we're happy that you could join us tonight. I am your host, Kerry. Also joining me, the most accurate weatherman in the business, Garden City's very own meteorologist, Dr. Tom Iwinski. Tom, how you doing?
Good, and we're not in the new year quite yet. Do you really want to get into 2022? Happy New Year.
I know.
We're
I
not
don't
there
think.
quite yet.
Yeah, right. And also joining us is former Garden City Councilman, currently serving as Kiwanis of Garden City president and longtime resident, Mr. Mike Jones. Mike, how you doing?
Excellent, Gary. But I'm getting better.
That's good. That's good. That's a good thing. Well, thanks for being here for our last show of 2021. Hard to believe another year has flown by so fast again. Can you believe it, Mike? I mean, they're just flying, right?
Oh yeah, just flying, sitting here at home,
I know. Hunkered down
hunkered down.
for another year. Yep, another year. Who would have thought?
Record COVID.
Yep. Who would have thought, Jeez, oh, Pete. Hey, tonight we have another good one for you. If you've been following us for any amount of time, you know that you know him as our former co-host. He is now Westland City Clerk. That's right. Richard LeBlanc will be here. Looking forward to chatting with Richard. It's been a while. But first up, meteorologist Dr. Tom will be here with the latest weather update for us. I'm thinking he's got that four-letter word in the forecast. And then we'll get to Mike. We'll get him in here to close out the show with some community announcements for you. So grab your hot chocolate or eggnog and join us for the next hour or so. Remember, if you have any questions or comments and you're watching us live on Facebook, please go ahead and put them in the comment section. You can also text your questions to 734-788-9319, and we'll do our best to get them answered for you. Yeah, if you're watching us on Facebook, go ahead and put comments in the section. Let us know what you thought of 2021. And if you have any resolutions for 2022, we'd love to hear from you. We also want to take a minute and say thank you to all of our listeners and supporters of the show who tune in every Thursday night, not only from our hometown of Garden City, but several of our surrounding communities as well. We really appreciate your support, and we'll continue to promote our community and yours. And please continue to watch, share, and listen. And remember, if your community or organization has any events or announcements that you'd like us to get out to our listeners, what do you think they should do, Mike?
Oh, I don't know. Email us.
That's right. Email us the details at gccommunitychat@gmail.com or message us on Facebook at facebook.com/gcchat. And Mike, you'll be more than happy to pass that information along, right?
That's right, Gary.
All right. Okay, we got a few people in there watching us now. We have Mrs. Chat is in there. How you doing, Mrs. Chat? Ryan Domke is in there. Fire Chief Kathy Harmon. Hello, Kathy. Happy New Year. Kathy Ward is in there, our number one fan. How are you? Happy New Year. Also, Steve Ray, Lieutenant Steve Ray from the Garden City Fire Department. Not 2022 yet, but it's close, Steve.
Yep.
And Mayor of Garden City, Randy Walker's in there, says hello.
Good.
Happy
Last week's guest.
Yes, last week's guest. Had a lot of information to pass on. All right, let's get Tom in here now, and then we're going to spend some time chatting with our guest, Richard LeBlanc. So stand by. Okay, let's do a check on weather with Doppler Tom. Let's see what he has in store for the rest of this week and the weekend coming up. Tom, take it away. Well, Tom, it's not 2022 yet, but give us the word.
This weather is sure getting crazy, and it's once we get into 2022, it's sure going to be more winter-like than what we have been dealing with for sure. Recently, we dealt with colder temperatures, a lot of clouds. We haven't really seen much of the sun recently. It's been pretty much cloudy every day. But as we get into tonight, those clouds will continue, and again, we'll probably see a little bit of fog developing during the overnight hours, which is what we kind of have been dealing with the last few mornings out there. It's been a little foggy in the morning, and that's going to continue. Temperatures are going to stay above freezing. They'll be in the upper lower to mid 30s, excuse me. And as we get into Friday, if you want to be outside and enjoy somewhat milder temperatures, this is your last call, because this is going to be our last milder-ish day for probably a few months out there. We're going to probably be seeing temperatures near 50 degrees tomorrow.
Wow.
So it's going to be pretty nice in the upper 40s. Actually, I'm taking down my Christmas light display tomorrow. So that's how
Might be a good idea.
That's how nice I see this.
Can you do that in one day, Tom?
Yes, you believe it or not, I can do it in one day. Yes, it takes longer to put it up than taking it down.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. A lot of people wonder how long it takes me. It doesn't take me that long, but I digress. But then as we get into New Year's Eve night, the clouds will continue, and I don't really see any real major preset to worry about. If you have any New Year's Eve plans, and if you're traveling, hopefully you have a ride if you've been drinking, but I digress. But we definitely are going to see drier weather on the roads if you're going to be out and about around midnight or so. After midnight, it's going to stay cloudy, and temperatures will be in the upper 30s. So we'll see temperatures staying above freezing, so the roads will not be a problem. Then we get into the New Year's. And this is when the weather starts to get very interesting. Per se, and we'll see a storm system begin to move into our region. And I believe that the majority of the system will be a snowstorm for us. And I do think that the snow will begin to develop during the afternoon hours. So if you have any morning plans, you should be good. If you have any real morning plans out there, there'll probably be some drizzle in the morning, but other than that, there really won't be much precip. It'll remain cloudy. Temperatures in the morning will be probably in the upper 30s. And then as we get into the afternoon hours, as the system begins to move in, temperatures will begin falling actually throughout the day. So our morning high will actually be our warmest time of the day, and temperatures will drop into the 30s, and that's when our precip will move in. So that's why I kind of think a lot of this precip will be falling as snow, and then the snow will be continuing throughout the afternoon, evening hours, and throughout the overnight hours as we get into New Year's Day and into Sunday as well. So a lot of people are always already wanting to know how much snow are we going to get, how much snow are we going to get. Obviously, those real fine details aren't really available just yet, but I'll give you a little bit of an insight. At this time, I probably believe at probably over 3 inches is appearing fairly likely at this time. So this will obviously be our biggest snowstorm of the season.
Yeah.
I don't want to really get into a lot of the details of how much exactly will fall, because you can't really get into those details that accurate. Not even I can, but we'll get into those accurate numbers as we get closer to the event. But plan for a snowy period as we get into New Year's Day, especially later in the day and into the evening and overnight hours. Then as after that system moves through on Sunday, we'll see those clouds begin to move out and those temperatures really dropping as well. We're going to see temperatures on Sunday in the 20s for high temperatures. And then as we get into Sunday night, we'll see temperatures in the teens with wind chills near 0. So we're definitely going to see cold air really begin to move in, and we'll see the winter weather moving in as well, and those colder temperatures. But the good news is that it's not going to really remain cold to that extreme for a long period of time. We'll start to moderate the temperatures a little bit as we get into next week. And as we get into next week, overall, temperatures will remain cold, but will probably be in the 20s and 30s for high temperatures. And some of those overnight temperatures will probably be in the 20s and teens. So overall, that Sunday night will be the coldest night, but there will be a few colder nights as well, relatively speaking, as we get into next week as well. So this long-term colder weather I really see developing as we get into next week and into the new year. And then after the new year really starts, the last few weeks, we'll see temperatures really staying kind of consistent with the 20s and 30s for highs, and 20s and 30s for highs, and then teens for lows. So it's definitely going to stay on the colder side as we get into the new year. So a lot of that snow that falls as we get into the new year. Won't really melt as rapidly as it has been the last few storm systems that we have been dealing with. Yeah, it will probably be sticking around a little bit longer as we get into the new year. So plan accordingly to that. But that's the latest I have with that. Expanding outward and quickly talking about some other weather. What's not happening right now? It has been such a busy weather period. Not just this year, but this week as well. That storm system will be affecting a lot of the United States with a lot of wind and snow, and severe weather has been ongoing the last few days as well across the southeastern United States. The West is dealing with the drought, and wildfires are starting to come back as well. So it's been fairly busy. And the Arctic air is another thing as well, because we're going to be dealing with some colder temperatures, but the Dakotas and into the plains are actually dealing with much colder air. They're dealing with wind chills near minus 50 or more. So we can't complain with our 0, but some areas are dealing with much colder air. So yes, a lot of extremes going on across the country. And the higher elevations in the West are actually dealing with a lot of snow as well. I mean, some of those mountains are dealing with feet of snow. I mean, some of the reports I've been hearing are like 9-10 feet of snow. So that's actually good news, because that will melt and that will go into the rivers, and over time will become more beneficial as it gets warmer. So that's actually some good news for them. But unless you don't like snow and you live up there, but I don't know why you would. But yeah, that's pretty much the weather going on across the U.S. right now. If you want to keep tuned to all my local weather information, just go to DopplerTomsWeather.com, and as that storm system gets much closer, we'll get more fine tuning of those numbers, and those details will all be over on that site.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to ask you, stick around. I'm going to ask you a little later what you feel was one of the biggest weather stories of 2021. I know there's probably a couple of big ones.
The details.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. All right, I want to mention we got a few more in there watching. We have Opal Loveland from Prestige Eyewear for all your eyewear needs in Garden City. Sherry Lynn Bowers in there. Hello. Derek Parton from D&D Sports Chat's in there. Hello, Derek. William Werhan says Happy New Year. And Patty Fix, another one of our favorite #1 fans. So thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. One more thing I wanted to mention, if you are a small business owner, because, we like to feature small businesses on this show and help them out whenever we can, and you would like to feature your business on our show, please contact us either by email at gccommunitychat@gmail.com or message us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/gcchat. We'd love to have you on and be a part of promoting your business. So let us know who you are and come on the show. We'd love to have you. All right, let's introduce our guest for tonight. He really needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. Right, Mike?
Yeah.
Please welcome our good friend and former co-host and now Westland City Clerk, Richard LeBlanc. Let's bring Richard in here. Hey, Richard, how you doing?
Hey, Carrie, how are you?
Hey, look at you. Look at you.
Wait, I got to make sure I turn this properly. Let's
now,
see.
What's that say?
All right.
Hold on. Let me get it up here bigger. Oh, there we go. The three-bedroom or Houghton Lake. Is that where you're at?
No, it's not. It's where I wish I was.
Okay. Hey, your picture just went out.
What happened?
I don't know. You're scaring me, man.
Let's see if I bring that back in. No,
there you go. Oh,
what the heck? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I guess you're going to have to hold that up there.
No, I'm not doing that. There we go.
There you go. Oh, you keep going in and out. You must have a loose connection or something.
Yeah, I'm sure I do.
Yeah. So how you been? It's been a while.
I have been busy, just like everyone else around us. Yeah. Everybody that's busy, in the show, everyone that's watching, we're all busy.
Yeah.
But it's been good.
It's a crazy time of year too,
Yeah.
So yeah, you were real busy with the election this year.
The election was a busy period of time. It went well.
Yeah.
There were no complaints. We completed everything just as expected, and we were very pleased with what our 350 one-day workers did for us.
Yeah, they did a good job, huh?
They did.
Any
That was great.
surprises in the election? Or is
No,
it totally?
I'd say no. The finishes, they may have been, one person placed in a different place than the next, but the four people that I assumed would likely win did indeed win for city council. The person, Bill Wild, running for mayor for re-election, also was successful. No surprise there. So yeah, things went fine.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So what were some of the other great things that took place in your community? I know you had a lot of events that were successful, the Blues, Brews, and Barbecue, right?
Yes, we had a number of, I'll call it returning events.
Right.
And one of the things that we did that's most recent is we had the Christmas tree lighting with Santa Claus arriving just a couple of weeks before Christmas.
Okay.
That was very nice. It was held outdoors, and it was pretty darn cold. Thanks a lot, Doppler Tom. But it didn't snow that
Don't
day. So
shoot
we're
the messenger.
right. I know. But so we were pleased that a number of the things you mentioned, of course, the Blues and Brews event, that came back after a hiatus, and we're still not back completely, though. Nobody is.
Right.
It's been an interesting nearly 2 years. And, when this thing began, which was for Michigan, literally the day after the primary election, March 2020.
Yep.
I remember telling people that did not ask for my opinion, but I said, I think this is going to be a couple years. Now, I think that may have been a couple years shy of normalcy.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, the city, like other communities within the entire country, is slated to receive a whole lot of federal money. There will likely be vast improvements, whether it be to things you can see or things you cannot, like infrastructure. Nonetheless, there's going to be a lot of activity during the next 5, 6, 7 years related to federal funding. So Westland will certainly share in that, just like Garden City and other communities. And I'm looking forward to getting to a point where we can have, once again, cooperative events that occur or projects that occur between communities or with multiple communities participating.
Right.
I know that still does happen at the county level, but there's a lot of anxiousness within our town and yours to get back to, I'll say, the resumption of relationships in a political and progressive sense.
Yeah. Some kind of normalcy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree totally. So what about the outlook for 2022? What's the agenda look like there? I know you said federal money, infrastructure. What are you looking most forward to in 2022?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm not looking most forward to. How's that? I'll start with that.
All right.
Next year is going to be the governor election.
Yes.
And that is going to be an interesting
Contentious?
event. Well, I don't know if it'll be contentious. It'll certainly be busy, and it could be contentious, but
Yeah.
We can expect the television and the radio to be completely full of advertisement. We can expect that.
Whoopee.
Yeah, Whoopi is right. We can expect that there'll be a lot of conversation revolving around different plans that different people have and how they're going to achieve them. But for folks like me and those election administrators throughout the entire state, it's going to be a really busy time of year.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that I'm not looking forward to it in part because we're really not over the 2020 election yet. There are still people that are insisting on certain things regarding that election. And it's like the election that will never go away. So because, Other states will have governor elections. There's going to be national news regarding everything.
Right.
And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, for me, that's the biggest thing for 2022. Aside from that, I just let people know that the city of Westland and its administrative building, the city hall, we were only actually closed to the public for about 10 working days.
Oh,
And during
It's not bad.
during that 10 working days, some of us were still there every day.
Yeah.
And, our office didn't shut down. It shut down to the public because City Hall was closed. But, we were never closed. And part of the challenge is that we still have other government offices that never did open. They're still closed.
right.
It's tough.
Yeah.
We
It
get
is.
calls every day about things that people need to get done at different levels of government. And we tell them, I'm sorry, but we can't wave the wand and make other buildings open for you. So,
Mm.
that'll continue to be a challenge in 2022. But I was told, I believe it was Monday. I don't know if the figure's accurate, but somewhere in the mid 60s percentage wise of people have received 2 or 3 vaccinations in the state.
Yeah.
If that's true, that's a pretty high number. I'm amongst those, not
Yep.
bashful about it. I got
Yep.
mine the first day I could,
Yes, we did too.
which was pretty early in the process, January of this year. And
Now they're talking a possible second booster.
well, good. I'll be in line for that too.
I will too.
I'm-
Absolutely.
I
I've
am,
been shot 5 times this year. What's one more?
Right.
yeah, I am amongst those that are concerned. I don't want to become sick. I don't want anyone else to get sick because of me.
Yeah.
And we are continually reminded of that during the workday because, of course, we see people we haven't seen before. It's
Exactly.
not part of the bubble.
Yep.
And some people are very courteous. They understand things take a little more time,
Yeah.
take a little more effort. Other people, maybe not so much. So
Yeah.
I know that Randy's on the show too. I'm sure that he and Chief Harmon probably have some stories to share as well about, the general public as regards government. But,
Oh yeah.
it'll continue to be a challenge. And I like a quote that Mayor Wild shared with me. It's been a couple years now when COVID first started. It's times like this when people really rely on government. Admit it or not, I think it's true.
It is. It is true.
And
But they won't admit it. A lot of them won't admit it.
well, some won't. I don't know if it's a lot, but some won't.
Some won't.
But it's one of the things that I keep in mind when I say we were only shut down for the absolute bare minimum amount of time that was necessary to ensure that we weren't going to get anybody else sick. And because people did need us and we responded, and so did other towns in our state. So, it'll be interesting to see where the nation goes regarding COVID and the various strains that we haven't even seen yet, and our first responders and how they're affected by this, because they more so than most other people, they have no
Hospital.
idea where they're going at the beginning of the day and who they're going to see.
Yeah.
And hospitals, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you, Richard, is City Hall, do they have a mask mandate or no?
Oh, yeah.
No, we don't. And I'll share with you that the city has adopted the state protocol. We
Okay.
advise employees of the CDC recommendations,
Mm-hmm.
but we follow the state protocol. So when the state said you must have, for example, plastic dividers
Right.
in meetings, or you're allowed to have remote meetings, things of that nature, Westland followed that. So today, if you come into City Hall, you are certainly allowed to wear a mask or other protective garments. And when you approach the interior area, the counter, you'll be asked to socially separate. and you will be facing protective shielding or, plexiglass.
Right.
I'm not sure that that's going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But people on both sides of that glass may or may not choose to wear a mask.
Okay.
But there is no requirement.
Okay. Let me ask you this: with this past election, any problems getting election workers during COVID? Have you?
Well, that was interesting because during 2020,
Mhm.
COVID at its height. Well, some would say it's at its height right now, but
Yeah.
COVID at its height, we had no problem getting election workers, and there were a couple of reasons for that. One, we put the word out and people responded. Two, and of greater significance, the state recruited people on our behalf, and not just us. They recruited people for all communities within the state. That was exceptionally helpful. In fact, I'll say that the 2020 election was the most staffed election that we've had.
Wow.
Now,
Very
fast
good.
forward to this year, we struggled
Yeah.
because a couple of things. One, a number of people said because of 2020 and the reaction of some voters, we're never doing this again.
Mhm.
That was tough.
Mhm.
To a lesser degree, in fact, a far lesser degree, some people insisted that they wanted some sort of hazard pay for the 2021 elections, and it simply was not part of our budget, and it never will be.
Mhm.
So a lot of people didn't have the same level of interest. So we had to resort to, creative use of our manpower. We did not have enough people, but we got it done, as we always will.
So you're probably wondering how it's going to go for the governor's election then, huh?
I am. My
Yeah.
hope is that the Secretary of State for the state of Michigan will once again extend outreach to people and convince them that it's part of our civic duty, that
Yeah.
it's a necessary thing in order for democracy to continue, and that for most people, it's actually a pretty good day. It's a
Yeah.
long day.
It's a long.
I would never try to convince anyone that it's not.
Yeah.
It's a very long day, and money wise, I don't know anybody that does it for the money,
Yeah.
but it's part of the deal. If you want to live within a society that has structure and has free and fair elections, why
Mhm.
not be a part of it?
Right. Right. And the pay, I mean, it's decent. What is it? 250 for the day?
What? Where do
How
you
much?
work? I'm going to
No.
go work there.
How
No,
much?
it's not. We pay for our election workers. We have 3 pay levels.
Oh, okay.
One is for an election official, a person who comes and assists with election work.
Right.
That pay is $170.
Okay. So, okay.
We
Better than I thought.
pay a co-chair, much like you should be paying Mike,
Mhm.
$210 a day.
Yeah, that's what he gives me.
I'll
Right.
pay him in pop bottles.
Right. Well, it's
Thanks.
still if it's 210, he'll take it. And then we pay our chairs $235.
Okay.
And
So
you
I
know
got that from,
we're not real competitive, but we do what we can do.
yeah.
And I'm not complaining.
Right.
And most people that work for us don't complain. And like I said, there's not a whole lot of people that are actually doing it to earn the money.
Yeah.
And I did have one person, just one, that tried to whipsaw me. And they said that another community was paying X amount more. And I said, well, I have a pay rate. That's what it is. And they said, well, if I can't earn more, I'm going to go to the other town. And I said, thanks for your service. See you later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, if our budget allowed it, I'd pay people more money. Who wouldn't?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a couple comments in the comments section. Actually, Jerry Thorne from Party Animal Travel, they're all watching us from Branson, Missouri. So hello
Darn
to the
him.
Party animals.
Why didn't you put us on the bus?
Because we didn't pay.
Oh, there you go.
Mrs. Chat says, I would love to work our elections if I can start at noon. She's not
Well,
working.
she can start at noon the day before the election, and she can work through the polls closed the day of the election. Tell her I said it's a deal.
Yeah. She also says it's nice to see you in studio again, Richard. I got a picture of you in studio.
Yeah, I see that. It's better than the picture of my camera. Before we started, I told you that my camera was broke.
Yeah.
And of course, then I fiddled around and I thought I had it fixed, but obviously you saw that it wasn't. So
Yeah, it was working there for a while.
So that photo is fine. Thank you.
All right. Jerry does have a comment. I'm going to put it on the screen. With COVID escalating, why are our leaders silent? We don't hear any press from Westland to Lansing, no TV, no paper press. During the last outbreak, they were everywhere. That is true. The governor was on just about every day.
Yeah, I can't speak for Lansing, and I'll only speak to what I can from Westland.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that when you talk about leadership, our community, I think it's through action. And what we do through our WLND, through the Facebook page that is established by the city, and then to a greater degree, what you actually see happening in City Hall and by the people who work for the city outside and inside of City Hall. That's where we're, of course, not being silent.
Mm-hmm.
So, amongst the things that Westland has done has been to cite COVID testing locations within the community, including one that wrapped up not too long ago in the City Hall parking lot. But we also just hosted a booster shot clinic, if you will, in the Senior Resources Center.
Okay.
And in City Hall separately.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that we're doing what's expected of us. And I guess, Jerry, one of the things I would offer is that if you see things that other folks are doing that you wish that we were, drop us a line. I'd be glad to become involved in that or forward it to the administrative staff.
Sure.
It's not as though we're intentionally not being responsive.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think state government has been a little lax lately, but he's right. I mean, she was on the TV just about every other day, every day.
All right. Well, I can offer another guarantee. She will be next year too, every day.
Okay. I like that. So let's see. Paul Werhan. I too would like to work if I could quit at noon.
You know what? I'm thinking the same
He and
thing.
Cheryl can split a term.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me talk about that just for a second, because
Yeah.
Joking aside for a moment, we do have a number of people who say, boy, that's a really long day. It is.
Yeah.
You are not going to get away with less than 14 or 15 hours. And for some people, it's an hour longer.
Ooh.
It is a long day. But here's the deal. I told you folks earlier that I was thankful for the 350 people that worked for us on election day.
Wow.
And I also said, Carrie, how challenging it was to get people this year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Think about it. If I offered to have split shifts, I might have to get up to 700 people. There's no way. It would not happen.
That's true.
I can't do it.
No.
And there have been a couple of people that said, I'd really like to do it, but I have pets at home. I can only do half a day because, fill in the blank. I'm thankful that they even consider us, but it's not something that we can offer.
Mm-hmm. Have a lot of your workers been return workers, or are they?
Yes.
Okay.
Certainly. I'd say
That's good.
realistically, our return rate is probably 85%, maybe 90%.
Wow, that's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
thank God for them, eh?
well, they, like me, though, are getting old.
Yeah.
And so some people are saying it's nothing against anything, but I've done my time.
Yeah.
And they're retiring. We had a lady, Nancy Ruby, who was who had served the city of Westland for over 60 years as an election official.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when Nancy told me she was going to be all done, I
Mhm.
was grateful for her service. I've known Nancy a long, long time. But
Mhm.
I mean, I'm talking for decades. I've known Nancy. And
Wow.
one of the things that she and I have in common is my dad, because she went to school and graduated with my dad.
Oh, okay.
So, but she said, this is my last one. I
Mhm.
got a hold of the Observer newspaper. They did a great front page story on her. But part of the fallout was I had one precinct that Nancy and her husband ran for, I don't even know how long, probably 20 years.
Gee.
They also had a daughter and a grandson. And when Nancy left, they all left. So that created a big hole in the system.
Yeah.
And so, good for them. Not so good for the clerk at that time, but we made it through. And yeah, so the return rate, though, is quite high.
That's
But
awesome.
we
Yeah.
also have people that I have come to learn. They are, let's see, how can I put this? They are experienced in ways that are not beneficial to the system. So we have an open application. Somebody can go online and ask them to complete this, that, and the other, and
Mhm.
then we contact them. But part of it is, why are you interested in this, or do you have any experience?
Sure.
And every now and again, we'll get someone that, they've worked in 4 or 5 communities. Well, it took me a while to catch on that the reason they've worked in 4 or 5 communities is because they work in a community, they get terminated. They work in another community, they get terminated. They work in another community, and it goes on and on.
Oh.
And there's reasons for that. One of the people I had to let go after this election, this past election, was sleeping for most of the day.
Oh, Jesus.
And, so I would get a call from somebody at the precinct. I would go there. The person probably had radar on me or something. They would know I walk in the building, and now they're awake. An
Oh,
hour
boy.
later, I'd get a text message with their picture, them sleeping.
Oh,
So, we can't have that.
no.
So
But it happens.
it does. We're always looking for people who might be interested in serving a very long day at not so much money, and to be a part of the process.
Okay. All right. Well, let me move on to Doppler Tom here a minute, and you can comment too. Maybe you might want to comment
Oh,
on
I'm sure I will.
Tom, 2021 had some interesting weather events. What would you say were the top 3 in your
Tornadoes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely talk about locally before we get nationally, but
Yeah.
the biggest weather story for us was the flooding. I mean,
Oh,
the
right.
flooding this summer was unprecedented, and especially early on, it was that June 25th to 26th where we seen, at least I recorded, nearly 6 inches of rain in that short amount of period of time. It was like a 4-hour period of time, so that caused a whole lot of flooding across basements and highways and what have you. And that was just the first storm of just many rounds of heavy rain that moved through all throughout the summer months. So that's kind of our biggest weather story. Obviously, the latest windstorm moving through was another kind of big windstorm that moved through. Winds were clocked at around 64 miles per hour. So
yeah, we had like
three
three days of that.
Yeah, it was a pretty wild time recently as well. So yeah, that was kind of our biggest weather events here locally. But nationally, I mean, yeah, there's been 3 big weather events that really have been kind of really touching the headlines. And kind of the third one was the hurricane season. Obviously,
Yeah.
it was a very busy hurricane season. We ran out of all the names. Ida was the most prolific one. It was a category 4 when it moved through Louisiana. And this is an interesting kind of statistic. It killed more people in the northeastern United States than it did in the Gulf Coast.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All the heavy rain that occurred up there across the very populated cities up there, and caused a whole lot of flooding and a lot of fatalities as well. There was a few
Subways
that died, unfortunately. So that was kind of the third one. The second one, yes, was the tornadoes. That was the second deadliest event this year. over 100 people died with that event this month, actually, a few weeks ago. Just horrible timing with just the holidays, but just horrible timing in general. I mean, you can never have a good time to have a tornado, but the holidays is just a bad time to have it. And those were two very strong EF4 tornadoes with winds of 190 miles per hour. So it wasn't the longest tornado, but it broke up in two little segments and was on the ground for quite a long time, at least 4 states in 2 separate sections. And then the number one weather story is kind of something that a lot of people don't really know too much about, but it was actually the excessive heat wave in the Pacific Northwest. That was, in my opinion, the biggest weather event in this year.
Wow.
Temperatures were well over 100 degrees across numerous states. 5 states broke their all-time temperature record ever in the history of records. That's something that is extremely unprecedented. Seattle was a city that dealt with it. Portland, all of the northwestern states, nearly 300 people died. A lot of people don't realize that with that event. Heat is obviously the most deadliest natural.
You hear that, Richard?
Disaster. So a lot of people.
I'm listening.
A lot of this
Waiting for that snow.
Better than that snow, he says.
Well, then I hope he wasn't listening to the segment. But yeah, those were the kind of the bigger weather stories here and nationally.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And did I hear right where Kentucky and Tennessee and them are under tornado watches again in that area for Saturday?
A lot of that severe weather is like south of them, but there's some rounds of storms that have been ongoing throughout
Alabama
that whole region over the last few weeks, with just bringing a lot of rain. It's just not good for the recovery. But a lot of the severe weather has been missing the hardest hit areas, but nevertheless, a lot of rain. Wow.
Well, before we go back and look at a few of our past shows from 2021, Richard, what can the Westland residents look forward to for 2022 that you think would be beneficial to them?
I think, given that we are handling COVID differently than we did last year, and by that I mean CDC recommendations are different, vaccination efforts are different,
Quarantine,
socialization and quarantine are different.
Yep.
I think Westland residents can expect, I'll call it a bit more activity than they saw this year in 2021. I don't know that we'll be back to our 2020 levels, our 2019 levels, I should say, yet. But I think Westland is doing the things that are necessary to do that people really need. And then, of course, they'll focus on the things that Westland residents and others really want. And by the need, I think that nobody should be wanting for the basic things that government is expected to provide. Number one being access. And that's where, again, there's certain other governments that I think they're falling short on the access level. It's just not easy to do things at certain places where we rely. And one of the examples, of course, is the Secretary of State offices. I know that much has been made about the inability to just walk into Secretary of State and get business done. Part of my hope is that we can make accommodations for those who don't have the same level of access, whether electronic or other access, to just get things so that they can be better for people. I'm also mindful of the fact that for quite a long time, our state and perhaps others indicated, well, if you can't get your license plate renewed, no big deal. Well, that was crazy to me. And that if you're speeding, as long as you're not putting somebody so-called at risk, no big deal. Well, I think that people they've had enough of stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, normalcy is not just being able to go into a store without a mask. I think it involves much more than that. And I have great hopes, I guess I should say.
Mhm. Any New Year's resolution? I know you're
Oh,
off
boy.
Facebook for a while.
Oh boy. So, like many of you, we make these resolutions. Sometimes they're difficult to adhere, maybe sometimes not. But for me, it's always been a challenge.
Mhm.
And then I try to figure out ways, well, if I gave something up, maybe I could substitute it with X, Y, or Z.
Mhm.
And that's not really the spirit of it. But this year, because I was I'll say at a point where I wasn't enjoying social media like I had in the past. I
Mhm.
decided on Christmas Eve I'd give it up for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Ew.
the first almost week has actually been pretty darn easy. I don't miss it.
Okay.
I do know though that I need it. I'm a politician.
Yeah.
People want to get a hold of you. I do receive messages via email that says such and such is trying to get a hold of you, but
Mhm.
I'm not responding.
What about
Because-
texting?
Well, yeah. So as I put on my Facebook post, which I made public
Uh-huh.
on Christmas Eve,
Right.
I'm still available in person, by telephone, via text, email, stuff like that. But if you try to contact me through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, I'm not responding. And I'll tell you, it's a bit liberating. I like it.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm actually quite impressed with myself and how good I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Because-
proud of you too, because I don't think I could do it. I really don't.
Oh, I think you could.
It's
So maybe don't do it for
It's-
5 weeks, but give it up for 2 days and see how that goes.
yeah, cold turkey
It's
like
not that bad, Carrie.
Well, it
I was
isn't
pretty-
if you've never done it before. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty active, and I think that it really was a good challenge for me.
uh-huh.
And look, next year's not an election year for me.
Yeah.
The following year, I'm not going to pull that garbage. But next year's not an election year for me. And so I'm still accessible in a whole bunch of ways. But
So how many more weeks?
Well,
4.
4.5, I guess, until February 1st.
Okay. Okay. Well, hey, good luck.
Yeah.
But when I text you, you better answer.
Well, yeah. I do. I respond
Yeah.
to text messages and to email. But
Yeah.
again, if somebody like today, I got several Facebook messages. Facebook says that, Joe Schmo sent a message to one of my 5 pages I run.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm sorry. They're going to have to wait.
Yeah. Well,
But I hope I don't suffer for it. I hope they don't suffer for it. And I'm looking forward to the end result. I recognize I spent too much time on social media. That really was it.
yeah. Yeah.
Too much time.
It's kind of like a cleansing, I guess.
Well, we'll see.
All right. Tom, what's your resolution? Any resolution for you?
Don't really have any big resolutions, but commenting on Richard's social media break, I feel like that everybody needs to do that once a few times, because social media can be so negative and overwhelming that at times
Exactly.
you just need a break from it. And
Yep.
Carrie, I think that should be your resolution, to do a week and see if you could do it. Not a 5 weeks like Richard, but just a week. And
Well,
see if you could do it. I mean, it would change your life. I know that sounds cliche, but it actually is good for the brain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's until you experience it and not be on social media at any means, it's something that you have to experience. And I know that you're a big social media guy, but
yeah.
maybe you could do it. I don't know. I think you should.
I'll try a day, maybe.
I know.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's good for your mental health, Carrie. Believe
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Mike, how about you? What's your New Year's resolution?
Well, I'm not going to worry about giving up social media. That's,
No, because you never
That's a
started.
given.
That's a good thing.
yeah.
Probably a good thing.
I appreciate all the time I have that isn't wasted.
Yeah. Right.
I would just like to get to a point where I could meet and socialize on a normal basis with family and friends without
Yes.
worrying about viruses and what have you.
Yeah. I have to
So,
agree. I have to agree. It's tough right now. I mean, who would have thought, you know? Um, it is. It's hard.
well, last year, Christmas, we didn't get together, family.
Mm-hmm.
This year, half of it was on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, I'd like to have it all be in person.
Well,
I
let's
miss
hope
it.
so. Richard, you're going to have to look in your crystal ball and let us know about next year.
Well, I already told you when this thing all started,
Yeah.
you know, we had to cancel our big party up north, the big party that we had
Right.
a
Right.
couple hundred people invited to and this and that. That was tough. And I was asked by some folks, why don't you just postpone it a year? I didn't have any confidence. I thought we'd be here still, and we were
Yeah.
still
Yeah,
with
you're
this.
right.
So right now, I'm going to give it a couple more years.
Wow.
That
Wow.
wouldn't surprise me, Kerry, that this pandemic continues for a few more years, like Richard's been saying.
Yeah, I don't.
Like COVID, in a sense of the word, is not going to go away ever. It's
Right.
going to be like the flu.
It'll be like
I
the
feel
flu.
like we have to adapt and live with.
You're going to have to get an annual,
Yeah.
probably going to have to get an annual vaccination.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get rid of it, like you said. And it's just, you know, until people get more vaccinated and you know, adhere and to it, I don't know. I just don't see it going away either.
Hey, Kerry, if I can also give a shout out, there's some folks in the comments section that offered highs and hellos, and I'd just like to say thank you. Great to see many members of the old GC chat team and
Yeah.
all of that. And then the final comment down there, after Tom said you should try this for a little bit, your Mrs. Chat's comment is priceless.
Yeah.
She knows I got to be plugged in. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't have a lot of confidence in you being able to give it up even for a day.
Hey, let me tell you though, she went and got her nails done today and a pedicure, and she left her phone at home, and she couldn't believe it.
No.
She was like wired. Oh my
Wow.
God.
That's tough.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. That cold turkey, man. It's hard. It's hard.
Well, you said you'd try it for a day. Make it 2 and call it a day. So
All right. I don't know when, but I will.
that's all right.
I'll try and do it. That'd be my New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere, Kerry.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's look back. Let's look back on a few shows that we had here. We do honor our politicians. We've had several on here. We've had Garden City Mayor Randy Walker, also Mayor Wild. That's when he had stubble on his face there. Also Glenn Anderson. We're always happy to have him. You know, it's nice that they make themselves available. That's what I like. They've never refused when I've asked them to come on. You know, Mike?
Yeah. Did you see the new projected legislative maps? We might lose.
Glenn Anderson?
No, I don't know about county commissioners. I
Oh,
think
I
we
don't
might
know either.
we might lose Rashid Tlaib as
Oh,
our congresswoman.
yeah. They
We might
really,
get Brenda Lawrence instead.
yeah, they really rearranged it. What's your thoughts on that, Richard?
So
Redistrict-
I will
Yeah.
tell you that it may come as a surprise to some people, but as a politician, one of the things I don't do is watch the news. I haven't
Yeah.
watched the news in 25 years.
Yeah.
And I'll never miss that. I
Mhm.
figure if it's local, it's important to me. If it's state and federal, certainly it's important, but it might not be as close. And so I really have not paid much attention to redistricting. And my comment generally was that I would wait until it's done because I
Yeah.
am not involved in the process. I
Yeah.
wasn't invited to be involved in the process. I will tell you, though, that I tried. I submitted application more than
Oh,
a year
really?
ago, like many other people did. And I got notice that I made a cut or the second cut or whatever it was, but
Wow.
I'm not involved in it. And because I like to think I know how this works, once their decision was made earlier this week, there will be legal challenges. And until those are exhausted, I'm not going to get excited about any of it. I am not running in a race ever that will involve redistricting.
No.
Westland's my final stop. I've been very thankful for all of the support I've received in multiple communities, including Garden City, Wayne, Westland, and Inkster. But until it's done, I'm just going to sit back and, I'll have my own private thoughts. I hope, though, that the goal, which is to make it really equitable for everybody, and I hope that that's the way that it ends, because I think it's better for us when it's not lopsided government.
Right. Well, they said it was nonpartisan,
we'll Well, there are partisans that make up the body, as well as nonpartisans, or people that claim to be independent or are independent. but it is politics, and because of that, the sides will have an opinion. They will have attorneys represent them, and then eventually a court is going to decide it. And then we get down to sorting it out.
Wow.
I hope that we have familiar faces that represent us. And quite frankly, my hope is that it's some of the people that currently serve in these positions right now.
Well, it's a tough job. I know that. It's very hard. Very
Sure
hard.
it is.
And you're not going to please everybody,
I'd hate to lose Glenn Anderson, but we're more likely to lose him to retirement than we are to redistricting.
Are
Yeah.
you calling him old?
No, I'm just saying that I think he's gotten to the point where he feels that he's done his service.
Yeah.
Richard, here's a comment from Mrs. Chad after I told you that she left her phone home.
Let's hear it.
She said, Richard, I wanted to text you while she was out today to see if you were home or at the office, because she had a delivery for you.
That's funny.
I
do appreciate those, I'll say, bi-weekly deliveries at the office. I'll be at the office tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
And I may be there on New Year's Day, on Sunday. I'm not sure yet, but I'll definitely be there tomorrow.
Okay.
So you can bring your baked goods around?
It's not edible.
I'll be the only one in City Hall tomorrow. I guarantee it. But that's when, you can get certain work done, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I used to post some of that stuff back when I was on social media 5 days ago. But yeah. Hey, I consider it to be a true privilege to be elected and to serve publicly. And I hope that folks out there know that. And I'm not unique. I think that darn near every politician feels that way. We may, sometimes things may happen that are not agreeable to all, but, we're going to have our inaugural event in the city of Westland on January 3rd. And part of my commentary as the master of ceremonies is going to be, it's the, continuance of government. It is going to be, for some people, business as usual. For other people, it's going to be a new experience. When everything is said and done, you're going to have people that swear in an oath that they're there to do the best they can on your behalf. And largely, I think that happens.
Yeah. Oh, and just real quick, I want to touch on that. You sworn in quite a few officers
Boy,
in
sure have.
2021 and fire too, right?
Yes. Yeah. We're still hiring. So those of you that are out there in the listening audience, if you have strapping young men or, great young ladies, both, who are interested in working in public safety in the city of Westland, whether for fire service or police service, I'd have you know that if you go to cityofwestland.com, if you go to my page there, you'll find that there's an open application period for police officer. There's an open application period for firefighter. complete an application, and I would love to one day swear you in. And I see that Chief Harmon is saying that GCFD is also hiring.
Yes.
You know, I certainly can't say anything bad about fire service, no matter where it is.
Exactly.
And we'd be glad to have you. Garden City would as well. And you know, it's pretty darn competitive out there.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
lost a police officer to Garden City this year, and I wasn't real pleased with that because it was a quality young man.
Yeah.
And I know he's doing a good job there.
Yep.
So, hey, if you're interested in public safety right now, this period of time, the 2020s is the best opportunity period there probably has ever been to get hired.
Right.
Back in I'm going to say 2000, about the year 2000, when Westland would put out the word, we're hiring police officers, for example, we'd have 400 to 450 people apply. Today, we put the word out, we get 5 or 6.
Wow.
And we're not alone.
Yeah, I know.
We're not
tough.
alone. It's tough. Public safety is a demanding job. It's a rewarding job. It's not going to make anybody real rich, maybe a little more rich than if you were an election worker. But
Yeah, I hope so.
you know, it is a great position. I mean, I've had experience in public safety. I have enjoyed myself, and we want you. And I see that also joining your chat, Carrie, is our newest councilwoman. She takes office January 1st at 12:01 p.m. I
Right.
swore her in recently too.
Looking forward to working with you, she says.
Yeah.
She was our guest on here not too long ago, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to do a great job, I think.
Councilwoman Sappy worked hard to become elected, and I know that she's going to be sharing her goals with the community, and she'll be part of the team, and it's all going to be good.
Yep. Going to be good.
But yeah, I have sworn in a lot of people. I'm not sure that any city clerk in recent memory has sworn the number of people that I've been fortunate to. It's just been an interesting time.
Yeah.
A lot of people going through the doors.
We
just hired a new one last week.
Yeah, Jason Trojan, a new firefighter.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I know you and Mayor Walker and Mayor Wild and Glenn, the public service, you've been in a long time, and we just thank you for your service, you know. You've done a great job, all of you.
Well,
Really
it's kind and generous of you to say.
Yeah.
And, you know, one day it won't be that way like others. I'm looking forward to retirement in the not too distant future, and someone else can take over, and we'll be right there to support them.
Yeah. There's going to be some big shoes to fill when you guys all retire. I know you can't last forever. That's for sure. This was a good show when we had Nathan or Ethan.
Yeah, the baseball.
Yeah.
Little League.
Yeah. That was a great accomplishment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I watched every game too. Let's see. Also, the firefighters, Garden City firefighters, we like to always recognize. Lieutenant Steve Ray and Dan Nault was in there. Also, Garden City Police, sorry. Sergeant Bruce Shippey.
I'm going to tell Bruce you said that.
Yeah, he'll probably hear it later. I'm sure he's listening. But yeah, they've always made themselves available as well. We really appreciate them. Kathy Harmon says Jason Trojan is a great addition. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see. Derek Fisher, he had a tough year for a while there too.
Yeah.
Superintendent of Garden City Public Schools. Woof.
It's been a challenge this last year.
Yes, it has. Here's someone that Richard knows from Westland, Len Fisher, and a couple of his actors from Inspire Theater.
Yep.
Did a great job over there. How about Mark Gutman? We had him on.
I enjoy receiving Mark's weekly email messages so I can keep up on what's happening in good old Garden City.
Yep, he does a great job, and we were happy to have him on and talk about memories of Garden City and everything he's done, everyone he knows. I think he knows just about everybody.
I think he's gone south, but he said he would continue the newsletters.
Yeah, yeah. Jerry Thorne from Party Animal Travel, he's in there watching.
Always interesting.
Always does a great job. You know, he had a comment too I wanted to mention.
Willie Warren Branson, what else do you have?
Oh, right here. The world of travel and air flights are a nightmare. 141 canceled flights just tonight, he said.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. And don't book any cruise ships for a while.
right. Yeah, they're saying don't even go on a cruise. Don't even go on a cruise. Don't even think about it. Put that on the back burner. Jerry Thorne, yep, from Party Animal Travel. And then we did something I want to do again too. There's a restaurant up in Port Huron that she's going to be coming on in a week or two called Kate's Place. We'd like to do up north dining once in a while, and we had Chef Matt Cassell and his wife Chef Lisa from Beechwood Cafe. They opened in Roscommon. That was a great show. I'd like you to go back and check that out if you haven't. And then one of our perennials, Don Nicholson, always a great guest, talking about all the cruises and everything else, the marketplace. And speaking of
I have
Don
a couple
Nicholson,
of plaques on that wall.
speaking of Don Nicholson,
Yeah.
the Garden City and Westland marketplace is out.
Yep.
Came out
Well, I got
today.
the January.
Yep, January for
Haven't got that yet.
Yep. So a lot of good stuff in there. You can get at your favorite establishment. And this was a nice show also. Sue Strong from Mothers Against Drunk Driving. She was here and talked about how they gave an award to one of our officers for helping out with drunk drivers in Garden City. And then we like to always promote businesses, small businesses. We had Carrot Stick Sports and Two Archer Salon. That's Scott Archer and his wife Anna there. They did a great job. Also from Bless Pest Solutions, Natalie and Jason Crozier. They do a great job. And then, of course, we have our Garden City Neighborhood Watch Patrol with Tracy Tatro. Do you have a neighborhood watch patrol made up of citizens, Richard, in Westland?
We did back in the day, and I was at one time one of the co-captains. But I
Okay.
have to say that today I'm not certain whether we do. I don't think we have anything that's active right now in town.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, extra ears and eyes, for
Yeah.
for the police.
Sure.
And then finally, we had Lori Goen from the DDA in Wayne, and also Kim White Jenkins, who owns the Helium Studio in Wayne. And then Santa
that?
Claus actually made
I was going to say, who's that guy in the lower left?
yeah, he came on and told me how naughty I was. So,
Well,
but that's just a few of the shows. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But that's a lot of shows we've had in 2021, and we appreciate everyone that came on and shared their stories with us, and always make yourself available. We really appreciate it.
You definitely have longevity.
Yeah, we're going to be May of 2022. It'll be 12 years. 12 years.
wow.
And meteorologist Doppler Tom has been with me all 12 years, right, Tom?
Yep. It's been a long time. I can't believe over a decade.
I know it. And Mike.
So let's see. Tom was forecasting snow back then when he was what, 7?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. Every time we had a heat wave, we'd always mention your name, Richard. So
I could feel my ears burning.
yeah, your
Literally.
ears burning, right?
You have a
Love
legacy
it.
on this show.
Yes, you do. A legacy.
Yeah.
Mike, anything you'd like to say to Richard while we got him before I let him go?
Yeah, he can have his old job back if he wants it.
What, you're bored already?
Dude. Yeah.
Maybe
just-
one day when I have
Retired?
completed my service, I'll be co-host squared. How's that?
We'll look forward to it.
There
Yeah.
you go.
But don't retire too soon.
Well,
Westland still needs you.
I can count it on slightly more than one hand, just barely more than one hand.
Wow. Okay.
One
Okay.
more term, voters willing. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, you won't have a problem, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, look, Richard, hey, I know it's been a long day for you. It's been a pleasure to chat with you again. You know, you're always welcome. Don't be a stranger.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again real soon. And Happy New Year to you and Cheryl and your family and stay healthy, okay?
Thank you. I
Yeah.
very much appreciate the invitation. It was great to see all my Garden City peeps.
Yep.
I tell people I'm very thankful for where I'm at today serving the city of Westland.
Mm-hmm.
When I was commissioner, though, and Garden City was one of my communities, I discovered what a real gem that 6 square mile town is. Really.
It is.
I miss it. I do.
Yeah. Well, you know,
So-
you're welcome here anytime. So,
And Chad, of course, is a part of that fabric.
Mhm.
And I think the community is fortunate that they have people saying good things about their town. That's the way it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've still got my Make a Senior Smile T-shirt with Richard LeBlanc's name on the back.
Oh, I
Yeah.
have several of them.
Yeah, I
you
do
know,
too.
that was good stuff.
That was.
Yeah,
I very much appreciated inheriting that from my predecessor,
Yeah.
and it was a good thing for the community.
That was
Mhm.
really a great time, really was. And
Yeah.
and it made you feel
Good service.
satisfied. Yeah.
Yeah.
Made you feel satisfied, you know.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you. I look forward
Yep.
to joining you again. I won't make it so long next time.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
You take care.
All
Stay
right, we'll
safe.
see you. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Night.
Bye-bye.
All right. Richard LeBlanc. Wow. Long time, huh? Good
yeah.
guy. All right. Before we get to Mike, I just want to remind everybody that the next city council meeting is going to be January 10th. We're going to have a new council person, I believe, sworn in.
Yeah, we're going to be swearing in Stacy and also
and Pat
swearing in
Squires.
new Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, Pat Squires will be the mayor pro tem.
Right.
So that will be an interesting show. That starts.
Stacy will add some spice to the council.
Yeah. Yeah. That starts at 7 p.m. on January 10th in the council chambers. That's located at 6,000 Middle Belt Road. It's a good way for you to get involved, voice your concerns that you may have. So get it on record. All right, Mike, are you ready?
Yeah. And I remind you that Stacy is more than willing to be a guest on our show
Yes.
sometime in the near future.
I'm going to line her up after she's sworn in and let her get a taste of it, and then we'll get her on.
Okie dokie.
Kathy says January 10th would have been her mom's 83rd birthday. Wow.
Wow.
Happy heavenly birthday to her, for sure. All right, Mike, here we go, bud. Ready?
Yep. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yeah, that'll be the day
Time for
when you make me cry. You say you're
Mike
gonna
in here.
leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. What you got for me, Carrie?
All right, I got a few new ones and a few old ones. So
Okay.
want to let everybody know about this.
Happy New Year. City offices are closed December 30th and 31st. Trash pickup, however, is not affected.
Right, exactly.
Home food pantry needs donations of toiletries. When people donate to the home pantry, toiletries aren't often donated during the holidays, but they are needed.
Yes.
Items can be dropped off at the Maplewood Community Center.
I believe they still have this available too. I haven't heard any different, but they can
Yeah.
call.
If you need in need of formula, Home Pantry received a generous donation of mini Similac Alimentum canisters. If you or someone you know is in need of this type of formula, please call 734-793-1850 or visit the Maplewood Community Center.
Now, this is kind of cool for New Year's Eve. They're going to replay a lot of interesting stuff.
New Year's Eve football. The final East-West football game from February will be from 1981 will be shown on Friday, December 31st at 10 a.m. The big win at Ryerson, Garden City, and Belleville, Eastern Michigan, will be shown at 2 p.m. The ribbon cutting at the new turf field, the Garden City Thurston game from 2021, will be shown at 7 p.m. And the MHSAA playoff home game between Garden City and Detroit Central from 2000 will be shown on December 31st at 11 p.m.
Yeah, a lot of good viewing there. Boy, that picture. That's a beautiful field they have now there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they've done a nice job of improving the facilities
did a great job. This is still important here.
Put a freeze on winter fires. Did you know half of all home heating fires occur in December, January, and February? As you stay cozy and warm this winter, stay fire smart.
Yes.
With only one heat-producing appliance like a space heater into an electrical outlet at a time, and keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet from any source.
Yep.
Okay, Superhero Skate on January 8th from 7 to 8:20 p.m., $10, Garden City Ice Arena. Skate dressed up as your favorite superhero.
Yeah, they're going to start doing get our January events in pretty soon.
Preschool playtime at the Maplewood Community Center gym. Fun activities, make new friends. On Mondays from 9:30 to 11 a.m., $3 for drop-in. Parents and kids ages 1 through 4 can come, imagine, play, and create. Call 734-793-1877. Dodgeball. Dodgeball League for $25 for ages 7 to 11. On Mondays from January 10th to February 28th. It's 8 weeks at 6:30 p.m. Register, call Parks and Rec office, 734-793-1882.
And this is still very important for folks.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are hurting for food and so forth. They're food challenged. And so commodities from the USDA will be distributed every third Wednesday, or the third Wednesday of every month. This is for Garden City residents only from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And Focus Hope on the first Wednesday of every month has a food box program free to Wayne County seniors only from 11:30 to 1:30.
Yep.
Dodgeball. Didn't we already do this one?
No, this is the same one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. My bad. Garden City
I thought that looked familiar.
Back.
Garden City Public Library youth programming, January, Thursday evenings. What do we got? Starting 1:13. It's National Rubber Ducky Day. Join us for a fun night imagining the perfect rubber duck and playing fun duck-themed games. And then on January 27th, they're going to have National Braille Month. Join us as we learn more about the inventor of Braille, and we learn the Braille alphabet using Lego Box. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that does sound interesting.
Yeah, details, you can sign up as required. 10 slots are available for ages 5 through 12. All programs are 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Very good. Yeah, very good. I like that. That's interesting. Doing another Parents' Night Out.
Yeah, Parents' Night Out, Maplewood Community Center. We'll watch the kids while you get a break. January 14th from 5:30 to 9, starring a Winter Wonderland of Fun, $10 for a child, $5 for sibling. Must register by January 10th. There'll be pizza, candy, crafts, games, and fun. Call 734-793-1850
Yeah,
to
that's a
register.
good deal, you know.
Yeah.
Good deal for the parents. And last but not least, rumors.
You're right. Rumors by Neil Simon is going to be produced at the Inspire Theater. Showings are going to be done on Friday and Saturday, January 14, 15, July 21, 22, or January 21 and 22, and January 28 and 29 at 7:30. And on Sundays, January 16th, 23rd, and 30th at 2 p.m. Tickets are $7. You can get them by going to inspiretheater.ticketleap.com. They're, of course, located on Warren Road between Vinoy and Wayne.
Yep. Very nice theater. Very quaint.
Yep.
Let's hope the COVID numbers are better though, because I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'd like to get back to doing those kind of things again, too.
Yeah, they're taking
They
all
put
the
on good-
precautions.
They put on some good shows.
Yeah, they do. Very good. Yep. And that's all I got, Mike.
All I got.
Sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
good. We got fireworks here for the 4th of July for New Year's. Got this one too.
Yeah, that'll make my daughter's dog real happy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they'll be shooting them off. That's for sure.
Yeah, he'll be trying to hide under a bed or something.
Right. And don't forget then, tomorrow night, the big game, Michigan, we got our shirts on.
Yep.
Michigan go blue.
And I've been taping the Michigan State game so that I can go back and watch it once we
that's
sign
on too.
off.
Yeah, that's on too. So, all right. Well, remember, if you'd like to be a guest on our show, or if you know someone who might be interested, it's very easy. Just contact us at gcommunitychat@gmail.com or message us on Facebook. And you can also text us 734-788-9319. Doesn't matter what community you live in. We want to hear from you. During these times, we'll do the show remotely and safely from the comfort of your home or office. Maybe you own a business or belong to an organization and you'd like to share your information with us and the surrounding communities. If so, contact us today. We look forward to hearing from you. All right. And with that said, Mike,
Are we ready to call this a podcast?
I think we're ready to call this a podcast.
Podcast.
It's a good show. Good hearing from Richard again.
Yes, it was.
We saw him for a few minutes there, but at least I had a picture up of him. So
Yeah.
people don't forget what he looks like.
I don't think there's any danger of that.
No, he does a great job, though. All of our public servants do a great job, I think. Let's see what else we got in here. Sherry Lynn Bauer. She says, Happy New Year, Garden City. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and shop local. Great job, guys. Thank you, Sherry. Happy New Year to you too. And everybody in the chat room, stay safe. Have a great New Year's. Special thanks to our friend Westland City Clerk Richard LeBlanc. It was always great to see him and talk with him. Also, a big thanks to my fantastic co-hosts, Dr. Tom Iwinski and Mike Jones. Great job as always.
Hey.
Any final thoughts, Mike? You want to
No, sir.
give a prediction for 2020 or anything like that?
No. I
I don't either. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't even want to.
Every time I thought we were getting back over this virus, or we have another surge.
Yeah, I know. Also, a big thank you to each and every one of you for watching and listening. We really appreciate your support. Remember, this show will be available right after we sign off tonight on Facebook. So you can check it out at your convenience if you tuned in late by going to facebook.com/GCChat. Also, catch us on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for GC Community Chat. You'll find not only this show, but all of our past shows as well. And yeah, check out some of the shows that we mentioned tonight. They're really good. I think you'd like them. And please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. We would appreciate it. And as always, we continue to thank all the healthcare workers, first responders, police and fire, everyone on the front lines who serve and protect us every day. Boy, especially now more than ever, right, Mike?
Oh yeah, this has got to be a major strain on our healthcare workers.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. And they're all coming down with COVID too now. So they're shorthanded and it's terrible, just terrible. We can't thank them enough. Be safe, and we want you to know your families and you are in our prayers every day. And when you see any of these heroes, please let them know how much you appreciate them. Remember, the success of a community depends on the community, so please support your local businesses. Like Sherry said, shop local. Don't forget community unity. Let's be united and support one another, and please don't hesitate, vaccinate. I don't know. We say that every time, right, Mike? But our vaccination numbers aren't going up.
No, they're not. And the number of unvaccinated people that are getting COVID just keeps growing dynamically, and
they're occupying the beds,
overstressing our hospitals.
I know. Get the vaccine. I mean, take the jab. It not only for yourself, but for your family, your friends, and the community. Deep down, it's the right thing to do. We want to beat this crappy virus. And Mike, if you see something,
say something.
Yes, say something. For all your weather information, be sure to head on over to doppertomsweather.com, meteorologist Dopper Tom.
And graduated, degreed meteorologist.
From U of M. Yes. We will see you right back here next Thursday. Actually, next year, January 6th, Mike, live on Facebook. So until then, anybody in there got any comments? Chief Harmon says thanks. We got all kinds of people in there. We really appreciate that tonight.
Happy New Year.
Yep.
And safe New Year to all of them.
Right. So until next week, thanks for listening. Have a safe and happy New Year. And good night, everybody. Take care, Mike. Happy New Year, buddy.
Yeah, you too, Carrie.
Bye-bye.